Ni hao, my name is Bryson.
Hello, and my name is Hobert.
And today, our talk is not as big as important like solving world hunger or global warming. This talk is valuable when you're trying to cope in a world like ours today. This talk is about how my friend here helped me in a new world I knew very little about and helped me overcome a few struggles I had adjusting to a new society.
We think this topic will be relatable to you all and show you all that as long as you are optimistic and have a strong social circle, you can persevere through anything.
Yeah, we noticed it was our differences that held us together. Our differences made us resilient during times we felt isolated from the world.
When I was a little boy in first grade, my mom, my sister, and I moved to California. Unlike China, where I could comprehend its language and its culture, I had a difficult time. Sometimes they make jokes and I couldn't even understand them. I was the loneliest I had ever been because I had no one to talk to. After going back to China, I felt even lonelier because I realized that my English is even better than my Chinese.
You spoke to me.
And on the first day of sixth grade, I spoke to Bryson, and I could feel that he was as lonely as I was when I first went to California and when I came back to China. Right, Bryson?
Yeah, when I was younger, I lived in Texas where I had a busy life. I would either be at basketball practice, church, or school, where I sleep most of the time, where I could make friends and create bonds with people around me. After moving to Abu Dhabi from Texas, I lost those bonds that I created with some of my friends. I remember living in Abu Dhabi. I still had friends there, but I couldn't feel the bond I felt when I lived in Texas. After living there for 2 years, I moved again to China. I again lost the bonds I had created with some of my friends.
But hey, do you remember when we first met?
I kind of remember. Can you tell me again?
Yeah, I remember walking up to you and saying something like, "What's up, bro?" But for some reason, you look at me like an alien.
Yeah, that's because I didn't expect to hear something like that after I left America. Anytime I ever said hello to someone, they would either say, "Ni hao," or sometimes never said anything back at all. And to be honest, I didn't think we were going to be as good friends as we are now. I kept thinking to myself, what do I have in common with this guy? He said he liked chicken.
He said he liked hot dogs.
He said he liked video games.
He said he liked basketball.
He said he liked our science teacher. No comment.
But it was actually our differences that made us such good friends. Throughout our sixth grade school year, I think we both learned that we don't have to be the same with another person to keep and maintain a connection with them.
And I think our friendship helped me learn Chinese and Chinese culture too.
I also think us being friends, it lowered your stress from moving and being in a classroom with people who didn't even know your language.
Speaking of that, according to one study, students usually had high levels of stress and isolation when faced with language barriers. Students who didn't know the host language usually feared discrimination and/or rejection because they didn't speak the same language as their peers.
On the other hand, researcher Alison Kavanagh and her associates in 2018 reported that immigrant children have a higher chance of thriving at learning their new environment, have strong social supports, and find ways to connect to their own culture.
So overall, how did that help us?
Well, we found ways to bond in English and Chinese.
I encouraged him to do things like sports, and he introduced me to a Chinese seaweed snack called Xiao Lao Ban Hai Tai that apparently translates to little boss seaweed.
Well, even though we were different, we still created a bond.
And connectivity increased our resiliency, making us bolder and courageous in our environment. So if you ever feel intimidated by the world around you, remember that connection can help us all.
And if you learn to know
What may seem like intimidation.
And if you learn what to seem maybe intimidation, you just may find a treasure of a friend. Thank you.
谢谢。